You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at briancraigshow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome to the program, everyone. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. Thanks for joining us, everyone. You know, I just saw on YouTube the funeral of Vicki White. You guys remember Vicki White?
Give me a hint.
She's the jail guard that broke the guy out of jail.
Oh, yeah.
And went on the run.
Yeah.
And it just popped up in my YouTube recommendations. It's a channel I don't subscribe to or anything. I don't know why. You know, I guess because it's news. But it wasn't the news that covered it. It was just a guy, just a vlogger. And it was a little strange. He did not know her. He has no connections to her. He just was near the town. He took a drone to the cemetery, and he filmed live the funeral overhead, and then he went up to the gravesite after. But
how many views did that video get?
It just went up today, so I don't even know.
Probably get a lot.
Yeah. But, you know, this is the thing about this, okay, that police chase and manhunt and everything else was big news for a couple days. Mm-hmm. It ended, and that's it. In the old days, the news would still be covering that story. They would cover the funeral. They would interview friends and family and try to find out what the motive. This guy on YouTube, he's just a guy, just a vlogger, and he talked to friends of hers and everything. And
this is why people have to turn to YouTube to find out what the hell's going on in the world.
You know, the news, you know, that
they don't tell you anything anymore.
Well, I thought this video was very interesting. The people that knew her wouldn't talk about the escape or anything, but everyone talked about what a great person she was, and she helped everybody out, all this stuff, you know. And the news, what's happened with the news has been weaponized to just drive political agendas with fake news and fake polls and all this stuff.
True.
And
it's too political.
They don't cover stories like this that I think people are interested in, because that's a moment that they're not trying to drive political opinion in a certain direction. And the news,
I agree.
The news in this country just no longer does any public service or good at all. They don't cover anything unless they can manipulate viewers into thinking a certain way about something. And I was surprised they even really carried the escape. I guess it was an exciting thing they carried, but I'm interested to know what flipped her. You know, what did she? Everybody says she's this great woman, and she was they said a highly decorated jail guard. I don't know what that means, but she was a well-respected prison guard, jail guard, and all this stuff.
I'm sure we'll see an ID special on it very soon, and then we'll find out.
Well, you know, the news,
what really happened.
You would think the news would want to get into it. True crime is like really super hot right now, and if the news continued it, people would watch, but they're not interested. Now,
we were watching real quick. I'll say, if you get News Nation. It's a new news station, and they cover news like at 7 o'clock on. During the day, they
7 at night.
7 at night. They have reruns of old TV shows right now. And they did a special on this for it was like an hour or two, a whole documentary, and it was very, very interesting. We watched it. So they might cover it or give some information.
Maybe. Now, there's a big story today, and it's about time. The Archbishop of San Francisco has banned Nancy Pelosi from receiving Holy Communion.
Oh my gosh, it's about time.
Yeah, because of
good for him.
Her vote to support Roe v. Wade. And
good for him.
This is a big deal. Let me just read this.
It's a very big deal.
The Archbishop of San Francisco publicly released a letter that he sent to Nancy Pelosi today.
Wow.
She's Catholic. And in the letter, he said, a Catholic legislator who supports abortion commits a manifestly grave sin, the Archbishop wrote.
Oh, my God.
He said he's contacted Pelosi numerous times to help her understand the grave evil she is perpetrating. He insisted that the decision is not political, which is true. The Catholic Church calls abortion evil.
It's a moral issue.
And the teaching has not changed and remains unchangeable. In 2008, Pelosi said that being denied communion would be a blow to her. You know,
that's huge, Brian.
Yeah, this is the thing, okay, about communion. Those of you that aren't Catholic, communion's probably not a big deal. You don't think it's a big deal. But in the Catholic Church, the whole service, the Mass, is all about communion. It's all a lead up to the communion. And
same in the Episcopal service.
Yeah,
it's basically the same service.
Yeah, it's a big deal. It's a really big deal. This
is a huge deal.
Yeah, it's almost like, I would say, it's not to this extreme, but it's close. Being denied Holy Communion, to me, like if it happened to me, if we have an archbishop here where we are and a bishop, if the bishop or the archbishop or the priest even denied me Holy Communion, it wouldn't just be a blow. I would feel like I had been excommunicated from the church.
I would feel like I had been excommunicated from heaven.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be really concerned about my mortal soul. And I mean, that's a big deal to have a priest.
No, this is the archbishop.
The archbishop, even bigger deal.
That's bigger than the bishop. He's the archbishop.
Actually say that your moral beliefs are so damaged that you are not allowed to share in the communion with Christ.
That's a big deal.
In the body of Christ. That's a very, very big deal. Because you're right. When you go to church with the Catholic Church, you do prayers and say things to lead up to cleanse your soul, to partake in communion. Mm-hmm. Communion comes at the end of the service. So for him to do that after warning her, well, she obviously cares more about money and power and politics than her own soul. And I think God will definitely take notice of that. That's scary.
You know, the thing about it is, you know, this kind of goes back to us talking about in the media. The television, could you imagine, remember when President Trump said 2 Corinthians? They made, he calls himself a Christian. He said 2 Corinthians. You know, he didn't say 2 Corinthians. I've
heard people say 2 Corinthians.
Yeah, they had a week-long news cycle of President Trump saying 2. And here you have Nancy Pelosi, who's the highest-ranking person in the Congress, in the House of Representatives. She's Speaker of the House, and it'll be talked about on Fox a little bit. But the rest of the media, if they cover it, it'll be like a side note and a mention.
Because they don't think it's a big deal. They're all atheists.
No, they know it's a big deal.
To her.
They just don't want to let people know.
Yeah.
This is, I would say the Archbishop doing this to Nancy, and this is her Archbishop because he's the Archbishop of the San Francisco Bay Area.
That is huge.
Him doing that that's like global news. They don't deny people. Now they do tell you if you go to Catholic Mass, you're not supposed to take communion under certain circumstances and things like this, you know. And they basically go by the honor system. For the church to come out and officially say you as a person are denied Holy Communion by name, that's very unusual, and it's a big deal.
He is basically saying her soul is not worthy of partaking in that ritual because she believes in this. That's how bad it is. That's how serious it is. And I would like to see who's like the head of is there like I should know this. You have Cardinal Dolan. Is Cardinal's higher than Bishop? Who would deny that from Biden? Would it be the Archbishop of Washington, D.C. at a church there? Would it be, can Cardinal Dolan, can he do something like that? Now, this guy has I don't know if you have to have jurisdiction or it's obviously a church-wide thing. She can't have communion in any church, not just San Francisco. This is the whole church. She can't come here and get communion. She would be denied communion even at our local Catholic church. This is church-wide.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
This is not a local thing. This is the whole, it's like being excommunicated. Exactly.
It's close to it. And, you know, she does go to Mass, right? She does go to Mass.
She might become a Protestant now.
You know, it goes back to what I was saying there at the top about the media are just driven by a political agenda. If this were a Republican, the media would follow them to Mass this weekend and see if they still went to take communion. Because she could go to Mass on Sunday and go up at communion. So then the question would be, would the priest deny giving her communion because the Archbishop said no out in San Francisco? Not necessarily. No. These priests, they can go rogue on that.
No, I don't think so. He'd have to. So we'll see what she does. She'll probably just ignore it. She's on another planet, Nancy Pelosi. If you ever watch her talk, she's really, she's really out of it. Mm-hmm. I can't decide. I'm going to do a poll on this. Who is more out of it, But Biden or Nancy Pelosi, it's a tough call.
Oh, no, Biden.
I don't know. I saw her talk the other day. She doesn't know what the hell's going on. The two of them are so out of it. I'm going to put that on the poll tonight. Who is more out of it, Biden or Nancy Pelosi? I'm interested to see who wins this one. But yeah, that's a big deal if you're a Catholic. And I think any Catholic who supports abortion should be not allowed to take communion, because that is huge, huge. It is probably one of the biggest issue, probably the biggest issue socially in the Catholic Church is abortion, for sure. It's a big deal. They're very pro-life.
I know a lot
which they should be. It is life.
A lot of people will say, well, she doesn't care. She may act like she doesn't care, but she does. She was brought up Catholic her whole life.
Me.
So this is a big deal to her.
We'll see what she does.
Yeah, it's, and I hope more priests, more bishops do this. There's a lot of the leading Democrats are Catholic. I don't know why that is, but it is true.
And I don't know why so many Catholics vote for Democrats.
Yeah,
I
and
never understood that.
Like Biden and others, and Pelosi, a lot of John Kerry's Catholic.
Maybe because of the Kennedys.
Yeah, I don't know, but they defy the church over and over again on this abortion issue. And I'm thinking maybe more bishops, more priests will be able to stand up to this and do what this guy did, because Roe v. Wade being overturned shows there's a big it hasn't officially happened yet, but it shows that there's been a big change here in this country when it comes to the issue of abortion, and it will be I think it'll be more accepting if priests and bishops refuse communion to people that. So see, what they believe is that by voting the way she does to continue to support Roe v. Wade and abortion through funding and everything of Planned Parenthood, it's as if she is committing the abortion herself. That's how they see it. That's how the church views it.
Because she's helping it along. Mm-hmm. She's in a position of power where she can actually do something to stop it, and instead she's facilitating it.
That's right.
And I would say not only is she defying the church, she's defying God. She is defying God. This is a sin. He said it's a sin. Mm-hmm. She's committing a mortal sin, and thou shalt not murder is one of the top 10. That is a mortal sin. And for her to repeatedly do it over and over and facilitate it and advocate for it, she advocates for it. It's about time, and I think Biden should be next. I think he should be denied communion. And, he said he met with the Pope, and the Pope said he was a good Catholic. Let me tell you, if that's true, that's really not right for the Pope to say that. I can't believe the Pope would say that. And he is a super liberal, though. Yeah. He is very liberal, that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I would like to see Cardinal Dolan as the next Pope from New York. That would be awesome.
Have we ever had an American Pope?
No,
yeah, that would be.
No, and this Pope's really Italian, even though he was raised in South America. He's from Italy originally. Yeah. He was raised in the third world, so that's what his mindset is. Yeah, so I'm excited.
Lung, by the way,
I'm very excited about this thing with Pelosi.
Well, I want to talk about this thing. We'll switch gears to Hillary Clinton. This guy testified today in this trial. It was all over Fox News today. I'm sure it wasn't on CNN. He remarked, and under oath, he basically said that Hillary Clinton gave the green light to feed the fake narrative of Trump having a connection through this bank to the Russians. And it was a fake story. And they asked her if she would if it was okay to send this to the press, even though they knew it was false. And she said, do it. Now, I'd like to know what else she greenlit. I'm sure, obviously, the whole thing. But this is the connection they've been waiting for in the courts under oath to connect her with this lawyer and connect her with this whole situation.
This is a big deal. Let me read through this story to just get a little detail about what happened with this. Hillary Clinton's former campaign manager, Robbie Mook, so this is a very well-connected guy to her, told a court on Friday that Hillary, signed off on sharing debunked allegations linking Donald Trump and the Kremlin-backed Alpha Bank with the media in the run-up to the 2016 election. Mook told the trial of Michael Sussman, that's the attorney, the first to be indicted by John Durham in his Russian origins probe, that he was first briefed about the bank by campaign general counsel Mark Elias. He said he discussed it with a senior advisor of hers and others. It goes on, John Podesta and a whole bunch of others. See, this thing about this, see, what's happening now is these people like Sussman and others are facing 20 years plus in prison because what they did, it wasn't just that they spied on Trump Tower at the campaign headquarters there, which is where Trump lived. So just spying on Trump Tower is not everything that's going on right now. After Trump was in the White House as the president, they continued the operation. And that now you're getting into espionage.
Spying on a president,
not
a candidate, an actual president.
And this began with the spying on Trump Tower that was authorized by Obama, that Joe Biden, when he was vice president, was in on the meetings about, and Hillary Clinton was involved in all of this. And if you remember, President Trump came out and said, Obama's spying on me. And what had happened, he had top security at Trump Tower. The security people found the surveillance. And this
incredible.
This continued after he was in office, and these people didn't cover up their tracks. They didn't cover up their tracks for a couple of reasons. One, arrogance, because they're the insiders and ruling elite. But the other one, they thought that within his first year, he was going to either be impeached and removed from office or embarrassed into resigning. They never dreamed that his popularity would continue to grow and that they wouldn't be able to get anything on him. So they didn't bother covering their tracks. So now, Durham, these people are facing long prison sentences, and now they're under oath, like this guy Mook was under oath in this hearing today. They're not taking the chance of doing time for Hillary Clinton.
Well, and Trump just truthed an hour ago. Robbie Mook just admitted that the campaign fraud was committed by Hillary Clinton together with her same cast of characters. It's the biggest story on the internet, but the fake news refuses to report it. They've lost all credibility with the people. Exactly. This is incredible to me that you have Hillary Clinton, Obama, and Biden all colluding. This is like treasonous. Like you said, this is like espionage here. Trying to take down a sitting president based on lies, not based on – it's not like Trump did anything wrong and they're trying to help the country. He did nothing wrong. All he did was win. That's all he did wrong was win and beat her, and she couldn't take it. These wheels were in motion. She was convinced she was going to win. Remember the scene of Clinton dancing in the back with her? The minute she lost, she started coming up with this scheme and started making phone calls. And you're right, they really thought that Trump was going to resign when he first got impeached. And then even when he got impeached the second time, they thought he would quit. And I remember them talking in the news for months. Do you think he'll quit? Is he going to resign? No, because he did nothing wrong. He did absolutely nothing wrong. And I really hope that as more of this comes out, the people that voted for Hillary, because there's liberals like Whoopi Goldberg or Joy Behar, they're going to still think she did nothing wrong. But I really hope the majority of Democrats who voted for her and Biden can really see the corruption that is going on the left. This is the most corrupt I've ever seen the government, and it's all mostly on the Democrats.
Never seen anything like this.
I mean, the corruption is unbelievable what's going on, and for her to get away with this is, well, we'll see what happens, but I'm glad he's naming her and not afraid to say to link her to this, because that's what we needed was her connection to this.
And there's a lot of other things that were involved in here. This spy operation that they did on Trump after he was president was in the West Wing on the executive offices, and the attorney who's on trial, Sussman, he was working with an IT company that had security clearances to operate on the computers at the White House. So there was a major breach. Spy operation going on here. And, they're talking now, with this Office of Disinformation, they're talking about like domestic terrorism, like with Buffalo and everything. This is domestic espionage.
Absolutely.
And against a sitting president of the United States. And there will be this guy Sussman. I know they got an Obama judge and all this stuff, but this guy's going to go to prison.
Well, they try to have the trial thrown out, and the judge wouldn't let them. But what's interesting, all this stuff you see in the news, all this racial stuff, and all this is all a distraction. All this, Tucker Carlson bashing and all this stuff going on. It is all a distraction. They don't want you to know about this. They're trying to distract you from this trial.
Yep.
And I know a lot of you don't watch Fox, but Fox is covering this. They talked about this all day. And if you weren't watching Fox or Newsmax, you probably did not know what happened. But this is huge, huge news for him to mention her name, link her to this under oath in a federal court. Now, what's interesting, what we'll see is now that they've opened that door to her, is he going to call her as a witness? Of course, she lies like no, she has no
She's
problem
pathological.
lying. She's a pathological liar. But I'm wondering if they'll bring charges against her, because usually that's what happens if a witness says something in a trial, then and there's enough witnesses or evidence. Are they going to charge her with something, or let's see what happens with this? I don't think he's going to. If he mentioned her name, he's not willing to go down for her. I'll tell you that.
I want to take a moment to thank all of our Patreon supporters for their support of the program. And if you become a Patreon supporter, you get commercial-free editions of each and every podcast episode, by the way. And our top Patreon supporters get a live on-air thank you shout-out on each and every episode. So the names you will hear now are our top Patreon supporters. I want to thank Andrew and Connie, Christine, Gary, ETW, Chuck, D, Pamela, Jacqueline, Nick, Rich, and, of course, Rick. These are our top Patreon supporters. Thank you so much for your support. If you would like to become a Patreon supporter, there is a link in the description of this and every episode. You click that link, or you might have to copy and paste it, depending on the platform. You copy and paste, or you click that link, and it'll take you to our Patreon page and walk you right through how to become a Patreon supporter. We'll take a quick break and be back right after this.
It's game time. Game time is an attitude and a way of life. So what does that mean? It's about hydroaffirmation and about physical as well as mental health. At hydroaffirmation.com, you can get a water bottle that encourages you to make healthy choices for your body and your mind. The goal at hydroaffirmation.com is to help spread mental health awareness and the importance of speaking things into existence on a daily basis, as well as reducing waste with their non-plastic bottles. Their BPA-free reusable double-insulated stainless steel water bottle features their beautifully 3D printed original hydroaffirmation artwork that includes a steel cap, plastic cap, and recycled clear bumper. They use only the best materials, technology, and design to give you a premium product that's built to stand up to your rough, busy lifestyle and still look great when it's sitting on your desk, at work, or tucked in your gym bag. Hydroaffirmation.com helps you become more aware of your thoughts and your feelings so you can control them instead of letting them control you. It's about daily affirmation and hydration. To learn more, visit hydroaffirmation.com. Also, find them on Instagram at hydroaffirmation. Get your reusable stainless steel water bottle today. Nourish yourself and affirm your desires. hydroaffirmation.com. Gamers and streamers, there's a new gaming channel on YouTube that you will want to check out. Dr. King K on YouTube. That's all one word. Dr. King K is a comedy gaming channel that has a huge selection of content when it comes to variety. Dr. King K streams games ranging from horror to battle royales. There's something for everyone at Dr. King K on YouTube. Dr. King K has a goal with his channel. That's to have good times and good vibes, leaving viewers with a smile. Make sure to join Dr. King K on Discord and share the channel on all of your social media and your gaming communities so your friends can sub too. Dr. King K, that's all one word, on YouTube. Subscribe right now. There's so many occasions in life when you need to buy a gift for someone, whether it's a birthday, anniversary, holiday, or wedding. It's always nice to give someone something that's truly special. Uglywoodsworkshop.com. That's UGLYWOODSWORKSHOP has all the perfect gifts you're looking for the special people in your life. Check them out for every occasion: Father's Day, weddings, graduation gifts, and more. These are lovingly handmade wood creations that are personalized. The shop owner and creator takes great pride and ownership in each and every piece. The items are perfect for children, adults, personal, and professional. Before you look anywhere else for your next gift purchase, check out uglywoodsworkshop.com. Use the promo code RADIO10 and save 10% off. uglywoodsworkshop.com.
You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at briancraigshow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. Thanks for tuning in, and make sure that you follow and subscribe on whatever platform you are listening to us on. You know, I was just reading this article in the Gateway Pundit. You know, this Buffalo shooter, they're trying to, you know, they're spending a lot of time trying to blame Tucker Carlson for it, you know. Which is, I mean, the guy's obviously a mental patient. He's mentally ill, and mentally ill people do things. So they're trying to blame Tucker. Now, his manifesto, listen to this. He had a 180-page manifesto. You may have heard about that. Listen to this. He's talking about Fox, right? Fox. This is the Buffalo shooter. The guy, and they're blaming Fox for what happened,
Unbelievable.
right? He was no friend of Fox. Listen to this. He said Fox was run by Jews. He accuses Rupert Murdoch of being secretly Jewish, right? And he said all Fox News this was in the manifesto. He goes on, all Fox News executives, anchors, reporters, and contributors are either Jewish, have a Jewish spouse, or are Christian Zionist. He wrote that in his manifesto.
Yeah. Doesn't sound like somebody who loves Tucker.
Or Fox News. You know, the left they're mental patients too.
They never miss an opportunity, Brian, to politicize a tragedy.
They believe. I mean,
that's how sick they are.
They just believe Republicans are a hate group.
Well,
they just believe it.
I don't know if they all really believe that, or if
do.
or if that rhetoric is useful to them. See, I think that they've lost so many minorities, and they're losing more. Biden's approval with Hispanics is down by half from a year ago. It was 55, now it's 26 in 1 year. They are losing voters. They are losing their minority bases because their policies don't work. So when they do that, that's when the race baiting starts. That's when this is all they know what to do. He's a racist. She's a racist. You better join us because white people are bad and they're racist and you need to vote for us. And this is what they do. So it's a lot of identity politics. I don't even know if they really believe Republicans are evil or it's just a useful tool for them to manipulate people.
When I say the Democrats, I'm not talking about the politicians in Washington. They're all crooks that are, you know, corrupt public officials that are getting paid by donors, right? They're all bribed. What I'm talking about are like these people like Whoopi Goldberg and Jim Acosta.
The useful idiots.
You know, all and Democrat, you know, the libs of TikTok people that you see. They really do believe that Republicans are Nazis, Klansmen, and hate mongers, and they're the ones that are consumed with hate.
Well, look at Carl Cameron. He thinks they should go to jail. They should be thrown in jail.
That was shocking to me, Carl Cameron on MSNBC this week,
He is a real psycho-liberal.
You look at this new White House press spokesperson, Jean-Pierre, whatever her name is, you know, and the Russian television said that she only got this job because she's black and gay. Well, that's true. That's why she got it. I mean, she's a diversity hire. She's had her first week.
She's an idiot
as the White House press spokesperson, but she's been at the secondary position for over a year, and she's weak. She looked really stupid this week.
Very weak. She is not intelligent at all. She's way in over her head, and her answers have nothing to do with the questions she's asked. And she reads all her answers. It's like she's like Biden up there. She has pat answers for every topic. She flips through and reads a script. That's crazy to me.
She's a diversity hire. And,
absolutely.
And
affirmative action.
She's gotten through her entire career through diversity hires, and she's just not qualified.
Well, remember when her first day, I'm black, I'm gay, I'm this and that. I told you she was laying down the gauntlet.
Yeah.
And she probably does that for every job she's ever had. Like, don't come for me because if you do, you're a bigot. That's how she protects herself behind that wall.
And I saw some people point this out, and I did not notice this until it was pointed out to me in some stories. So I don't want you guys to think I'm, creeping. But she dresses inappropriately. She shows cleavage up there on the podium, which no one has. There's been other women in that position. None of them have shown cleavage, and it's inappropriate. You know, you're speaking for the president of the United States when you're up there, and you got to cover those things up. It's not.
I didn't even.
It's not appropriate. Well, I didn't notice it either till I read an article where it was mentioned, and now I can't help but notice it. When, but when she went up there, I'm the first black gay immigrant. I'm the first in all three of these checked marked boxes to have this position, and it's a very bizarre thing. And you see these highlights of her. She's been on she's been a pundit on television news for years, and all she comments is about racial issues. She's obsessed with it.
She is obsessed with it. Her entire career, she's almost as bad as Elizabeth Warren. Her entire identity, her entire career has been her race has been the nucleus, and her whole identity is wrapped up in the color of her skin.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like all she sees, and so she thinks that's all everybody sees. But no, we see that she's not very bright.
Well, the question to her, why did her and her family leave their country to come to such a racist one, where it's so difficult to be black in it?
All these black people that complain about racism are all millionaires.
Yeah, I know.
LeBron
Joy
James,
Reid,
Oprah Winfrey, Joy Reid.
Yeah.
They're all multimillionaires. Maybe
and they're
there's
victims.
some guilt or something.
I don't know.
Guilt and they feel they have to race bait like that. I don't get it.
You know, there's a lot of talk about grooming among school teachers with a lot of things that's going on. And grooming, I don't know, the definition of grooming is, I thought of grooming, and I could be wrong about this if it applies or not. I thought grooming was like when someone had an underage person that they were keeping on the back burner till they turned 18. You know what I mean? And we're getting them ready to get involved with them. And then when they were legal, I considered that grooming. But there's grooming.
Not necessarily 18. It could be somebody who, at any age, that's a minor. I think it involves purposely, you could groom an 8-year-old and take advantage of them when they're 11.
I don't know.
You manipulate them, and you're getting them ready for a sexual relationship. That's what grooming is to me. That involves an adult with a minor, and you are preparing them mentally to engage in a sexual relationship with you.
Well, the stuff that's going on with the wackadoodle gender things with the school teachers, I don't know if that's grooming. I know everyone says grooming. I don't know if what they're doing is.
No, I think it is. I think grooming. I think the definition has broadened a little. It
may be, but it's more like recruitment, maybe, into a thing.
I don't see the difference.
I don't know. I just know that everywhere I go now, there seems to be a transitioning person, and it's just hard for me to believe that there are that many people that are really like. There's this new thing that is in the news.
So you feel like they're
today.
creating?
Yeah.
They're creating.
Yeah, there's this new thing that's in the news today about the skateboarder, the lady skateboarder that lost to the transgender who's a biological male that was competing and all of this stuff. But I saw an article today. At least 135 teachers and teachers' aides have been arrested and charged with child sex crimes in 2022 so far. And we're not even halfway through the year. This gender talk to me crosses over into sex education. It really is. This gender talk that they're doing is sex education because they're talking about sexuality and sexual preferences and sexual attractions and everything else.
I think it goes beyond sex education.
Yeah, and
it's much different to me.
Anytime you have, in my opinion, you have an adult that's obsessed with sexuality and attraction and things like this, and they're dealing with children and pushing it on children.
Yeah, sexualizing children.
That I do. The more I think of that is grooming, and it doesn't mean that all those teachers are going to do something like this. 120 some teachers and teachers' aides did so far in 2022, but they are grooming them for something. And what's gone on here is there's been a huge recruitment drive somewhere for school teachers that want to do this type of conditioning / grooming of young people.
Yeah.
And what I'd really like to know, and I haven't seen anyone look into this, okay, because I know this is going on nationwide.
All of a sudden.
I'm wondering.
In mass.
Yeah, I'm wondering how this happened. The problems in the Catholic Church, okay, the sex scandals in the Catholic Church have happened for a couple of reasons. One of them is back in the 60s and 70s, the big what do you call the schools where people go to become priests? What do you call those, Kathy? My mind just went blank. I got one of those Biden moments, but you know what I'm talking about, where you go to
seminary.
Become seminary. Some of the largest.
Took me a second.
What had happened in the 60s and in the 70s. Yeah. Some of the largest seminaries had been taken over by gays. And they actually did outreach to recruit gays into the priesthood, and
pedophiles,
and then the scandals that you've heard about happened years later, and that's how that came to be. There's been some type of effort that really hasn't been explored. Why all of a sudden do we have so many activists, these gender activists, gay activists, trans activists, teachers in classrooms in America? And it would be, I think, worthy of investigation by the media, somebody that has the resources to do this. I'm wondering if there's like 2 to 5 universities in the country that have been producing a lot of these. I know it's a nationwide thing, but it's happened all at once and pretty quick in the last couple of years.
Maybe it's just that most teachers are liberal, okay? I used to teach, and it's probably 80% liberal, 85% liberal, hardcore. Maybe it's just that because they're so liberal and because of social media and just the way they think in general, this is something they feel they need to be activists for because this is their realm and they feel they have to do something or say something about this. It's their responsibility. It's their duty as good citizens to make their classroom a safe space for 1 or 2 kids that feel this way. That's possible too, but maybe it's too much.
It's too much all at once. It's too much all at once. This isn't something that just happened organically.
Yeah, but all liberals think alike. They all are like-minded, and maybe it just taps into a liberal personality.
Yeah,
like I said, teachers are very possessive of their students, and maybe they feel that is their obligation as a teacher to jump onto this topic. Because they're dealing with adolescents.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. Grooming is becoming a larger umbrella. And I think any type of manipulation where you are sexualizing children can fall under that umbrella.
Yeah.
When you're manipulating their minds to think in a sexual way, to prepare themselves in that manner, to me, is a form of grooming. And I think that definition has expanded because of all this.
Yeah. Well, it's a big problem. It really is a big problem.
Tell you, I've said this before, if you got kids in school, go through their books, go through their notes, have regular parent conferences, look at the classroom, what's up in the classroom, especially elementary school, what kind of decorations are up, what does the teacher look like, how are they dressing? Be very involved and see what is going on.
And it's so,
you got to be careful.
Like 15 years ago, the liberals were trying to take God out of the Pledge of Allegiance. And the American flag is offensive, but they have not just the rainbow flag. There's a transgender flag now that a lot of these teachers you see that are online have up in their classrooms. These are things that just don't belong anywhere. And there's been I don't think it just happened coincidentally. I think there has been some effort behind the scenes to recruit so many people into teaching that are like this. Because it's one thing to be liberal. There's too many teachers that don't know what their gender are and are gay activists at this point. There's too many.
Yeah.
Most teachers are liberal.
But you notice most of these
they're not. There's the percentage of teachers that are gay and transgender is way out of proportion to the number of people like that in our societies. There's something off here.
I agree, and I think you'll notice most of these activist teachers are young, and they're liberal, and I think the liberal Democratic Party has changed with this younger generation and has become more radicalized. So what you're seeing is a more radical group of liberals that are very social media savvy, and they're just more radicalized than Democrats our age. So I think that's a big part of it too.
Now listen, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, there's a lot more to talk about. Don't go anywhere. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. We'll be back right after this.
Everyone has a story to tell. We all experience hardships in life, but how people react to those hardships can determine who they are and their quality of life. The book from author Hannon Safe, Scattered Thoughts, available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, is an inspirational book that gathers moving stories of strength and survival. Stories of people whose battles did not define them, but instead propelled them forward to become who they are today, overcoming tremendous odds to end up being winners in the end. The people whose stories are written about are now happy and wish that you could end up with their results, wanting you to forgive yourself, love yourself, and most importantly, appreciate and know your worth. If you know anyone who could benefit from this book, it makes a great gift. Scattered Thoughts from author Hannon Safe, available on Amazon and BarnesandNoble.com. Do you know what a smart home is? A smart home works for you. It offers a high quality of life, as well as a safe and relaxing place to live for you and your family. KDMY is a company based in Toronto, Canada, that can make your home a smart home. Serving the greater Toronto area and now expanding into the United States, KDMY helps busy homeowners just like you change the way they live by making their homes smart so they can avoid stress and unnecessary bills, living comfortably and conveniently. Their vision is to make what was previously thought of as science fiction, science fact. Many people live in homes with an unnecessarily low quality of life and safety. KDMY believes they can change that by bringing your home into the future with smart technology. Visit their website, kdmysmarthomes.com, for an estimate today. kdmysmarthomes.com. Do you know what your future holds? Are you uncertain about your relationships, your career, or your health? Psychic Stephanie can help at manifestationpsychicemporium.com, where you will get advice from the stars and planets. Manifestationpsychicemporium.com creates forecasts for every zodiac sign. You can find out if the moon's position presents any new opportunities. Is today the day to start a business, a new journey? Should you start to question motives in your relationship? Psychic Stephanie is here to help. A change in spiritual body can be a change of atmosphere. Psychic Stephanie offers all types of spiritual services, candles, conjure oils, and much more. She's also a certified Reiki practitioner with over 20 years of experience. She's worked with clients all around the world. She can also restore damaged and broken relationships. Visit Psychic Stephanie's website today and see what the future holds for you. ManifestationPsychicEmporium.com. Call now for a better life. 713-858-5777. 713-858-5777.
You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at BrianCraigShow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. Welcome back. You know, a lot of disappointed guys out there that want to date AOC, right? Every man wants to date AOC. She's now engaged.
Oh, my goodness.
To
a lot of hearts breaking tonight.
Yeah, to her open sandal wearing. You know, you will never see me wearing flip-flops or sandals like that. It just will not happen. It just won't happen. Now, part of the reason is I have a tan. You know, I get tan lines, I guess, from wearing shoes all the time. I guess I don't know, but you wouldn't. I just think sandals are gross on guys. I always have. Don't you think?
I don't mind flip-flops down here, but any other kind of sandal on a guy
I don't know.
is a little weird.
I don't know.
But a lot of guys wear flip-flops in Florida.
Yeah.
A lot of guys wear the sandals, the ones with the straps. A lot of guys wear them. They're comfortable. It's hot here, though.
Yeah. Well, they were in Miami Beach when he was wearing the sandals. But anyway, AOC, she did one of her famous Instagram
Depends
videos.
on the guy and the feet.
Yeah, she did one of her Instagram videos, and she's talking about abortion. So let me play this. This is AOC pre-marriage. I don't know if she was engaged when she made this video or if it was after the announcement, but here it is.
For people who say, "Oh, but you're harming a life. I believe this is life." Well, some religions don't. So how about that? Our Jewish brothers and sisters, they are able to have an abortion according to their faith. You know, there are so many faiths that do not have the same definition of life as fundamentalist Christians. And so what about their rights? What about their right to exercise their faith? It's ridiculous. And it is theocratic. It's authoritarian. It is wrong.
Well, you know, you don't have a right because of your religious views to sacrifice children, which is what she's saying is that there are many faiths out there that are in favor of sacrificing the lives of children, so that's okay.
I mean, we're not all Incas here or Mayans. Isn't that what they used to do?
Now, we were talking earlier about Pelosi and communion. I'm assuming because she's Puerto Rican American, right? I'm assuming she and her family, AOC, are Catholic.
I don't know what she is. I
don't know if she knows what she is.
No, I think she's an atheist, like most liberals. And for her, it's so funny when liberals use religion when it's convenient.
Yeah.
And for her to sit there, and that's her argument, that some religions approve of abortion, that doesn't mean, I don't think Orthodox Jews approve of abortion. And regular Jewish people there's a lot of Jewish people that aren't religious. They're Jewish by ethnicity, not by religion, especially in this country. So I don't know what the hell she's talking about. And I don't know any religion that advocates other than a satanic religion that advocates for the killing of children. It is amazing how these people, when you hear them really defend abortion, it's not, I mean, they're not even defending as much as the woman's right anymore. Now they're actually advocating that killing a baby's okay. I mean, it's no longer about a woman's right to choose. Now it's like, well, it's okay to kill a baby if you don't want it. It is incredible to me how evil she sounds and how evil Democrats are. And listening to them defend abortion is absolutely sickening to most people. And I think most people are seeing this for what it is. But, Oklahoma is the first state to completely, they've just voted to completely ban abortion from birth. I mean, from conception.
I'm a little worried about that. I was talking about this on the radio today. Let me tell you what I'm worried about with this thing out of Oklahoma, right? They're like, no abortion after conception, except in rape and incest, and then those cases have to have police reports connected to them.
I think that's good.
Well, I'm not saying that's not good. The timing, okay. The Supreme Court Roe v. Wade leak was a couple of weeks ago. Last week, we were told the decision was going to be officially released on Monday, and then Monday they said it was officially going to be released on Wednesday, and and here we are days later, it's not happened yet.
So you don't like the timing of Oklahoma?
I'm afraid this is what the reason that the leak is a big deal from the Supreme Court is what has happened is there's been pressure and lobbying is being done on the Supreme Court justices. You're not supposed to lobby judges. They're not politicians that go with the wind. So they're being pressured through the protest and lobbied. And what I'm thinking, this new law that they're passing in Oklahoma, which is a good law, but the timing of it might help the Handmaid's Tale ladies to put pressure on one or two of these justices like John Roberts to change their opinion, which they can do.
Well, how can they make it? How can they outlaw it before they overturn Roe v. Wade? Can they do that, or are they waiting for it to be overturned to make it official?
Well, it's only gone through one of their state houses. It's got to go through a whole process, so
they're getting the ball rolling.
Yeah, it just seems to me it's bad timing to do it until the official ruling comes out.
Maybe
these justices are facing pressures that we could not even fathom right now. And
well, I hope they do the right thing because they have an opportunity to save millions of lives through this down the road. And I'm curious to see what Florida will do once this gets overturned, if it does. I thought we were going to know by now. I've heard it was Monday, then I heard it was yesterday. So I don't know what's going on. Yeah. It makes me nervous that it's stalling.
That's right.
So much,
that's what I'm worried about.
But
I'm very worried about that. Because these justices can change their opinions.
I wanted to just, before I forget, mention one more thing about Hillary. The thing with Hillary, people have to remember, okay, because they were spying on Trump. They were looking, why were they spying on Trump? Because they were looking for dirt. Mm-hmm. They were looking for something illicit, something illegal they could get on him. So what happened? They found nothing. So they had to make it up. Mm-hmm. Ask yourself, if you hate Donald Trump, why did Hillary have to make up evidence against him? Why do you think? Because she found nothing. Mm-hmm. They found nothing to use against him, so they made up a narrative. They made up a story. So you need to think about that. You might not like the way he talks and might not like his tweets, but if they found dirt, they spied on him, they were looking, believe me, if there was something there, they would have found it. Okay, they probably vetted him 10 times. They've gone through his taxes, everything. They found nothing, so much so that they had to make up lies and lie to the American people about him, and it still did not hurt him. Now, I know you can talk about the election, that's another issue. But those lies, they impeached him twice, and now the truth is really coming out. They could not find dirt on Trump. They made it up because they found nothing. And if you hate Trump, you should really, really think about that. Because believe me, they were looking for something.
Oh, yeah.
And there was nothing there. I was just wanted to mention that. I forgot to say that earlier.
Now, I want to remind everyone that the BOGO extravaganza continues. You know, Mike Lindell, there's a new lawsuit coming out against him today.
Yeah, the judge ruled that he has to pay damages.
So he's got this. Let me tell you, Mike Lindell is personally being sued.
Yep.
They're suing his company. You've seen what the banks have done and everything, you know, and it's all because why? He stands up for Trump. He stands up for MAGA.
For America.
And he doesn't apologize for it. And, you know, MyPillow has been kicked out of all these major retailers. I need to hear us talk about that. What has kept MyPillow going and this great MAGA company going are you out there purchasing the MyPillow products using our promo code KANE at checkout, KANE, which gives you incredible deals, and you're also supporting all of the content that I put together, the podcast with Kathy and I here, my YouTube channel, the Steve Kane Radio Show, and you use our promo code KANE at checkout, KANE, and you're also supporting Mike Lindell. The BOGO extravaganza is going on right now, and it's buy one, get one free on some of the most popular items at MyPillow, the Giza Cotton Dream Sheets, the 6-piece MyPillow towel set, I
love those Elegance pillows.
Oh, yeah, the Giza Elegance pillows, which we have 4 of. They're an upscale MyPillow. And
they're really nice.
Yeah, and the cover of them is made of the 100% Giza cotton. The standard regular MyPillows that started everything, those are buy one, get one free. Over a dozen top MyPillow items are available buy one, get one free with our promo code KANE at checkout, KANE at MyPillow.com. So take advantage. Right before the podcast, Kathy and I made the bed with our MyPillow Giza Cotton Dream Sheets. We just got 2 more sets of them because of the BOGO offer. So go to MyPillow.com, use our promo code KANE at checkout, KANE, and get some incredible deals, and at the same time support us and Mike Lindell.
I want to mention real quick, if you live in Georgia, make sure to vote on Tuesday for Herschel Walker. He's in the primary for the Senate. He's a good guy. He's MAGA, great friends with Trump. And they're having record numbers of people coming out and voting in these Republican primaries. And that means that more people have switched to the Republican Party. That and more Republicans are actually coming out and showing up. This is scaring the hell out of the left. And let me tell you, from now till November, if you watch the news, especially CNN or MSNBC, you are going to hear nothing but race baiting. You're going to hear it out of all the politicians on the left because they are losing so bad and they know it. They see it coming. And this has worked for them in the past. They are losing minorities, the Black, the Hispanic vote, the Asian vote. They are losing it in droves. I think the transgender vote is the only vote that they're clinging on to right now. Maybe that's why they're trying to make more kids transgendered, because that's a new voting block they're trying to create. But they're losing in droves. They've had record number of people show up to vote in these last few primaries. So please don't forget, if you're in Georgia, if you haven't voted already, vote for Herschel Walker. Very, very important to get another win for us to win this primary. He'd be a great senator. You know, it'd be interesting to see in November how many MAGA politicians are in there and how much that really changes the structure of the government. You know, it's going to be incredible.
Who Trump's vice president is going to be in 2024 is unknown. DeSantis, Kerry Lake, could be Herschel Walker.
Oh, my gosh.
Could you imagine?
It'd be Tim Scott would be good.
Oh.
Rick Scott.
Yeah.
He could pick him. I mean, he'd be great, too. He was a great governor.
Well,
he's got a whole group of people to choose from.
The big secret is this is a conservative country. Yeah. It always has been. The Democrats only seem to be the majority all the time because they control so much of the, the news, the television,
especially now more than ever.
Oh, yeah.
I think there's more Republicans now. I know in Florida, for the first time, I think ever, we have 100,000 more Republican registered voters than Democrats.
It's the first time since Reconstruction, since the end of the Civil War, that registered Republicans outnumber registered Democrats in Florida.
And what's amazing is the Democrats are doing this to themselves. They just keep stepping in it. Everything they do, every instinct they have, because Biden is so incompetent and everybody he has hired is so incompetent that the everything they're the ones making this happen. This isn't anything really Trump's doing. I mean, he goes out there and does, we all love Trump, but this is, I think a lot of people are leaving the Democratic Party because of what Biden is doing.
Yeah.
He's responsible for this.
Yeah.
Because these are people that are, these are people that are Democrats, have been for a long time, voted for Biden, supported him. He is so bad. This is like a Jimmy Carter moment. I think he's even worse. He is so bad that they, like Elon Musk said, he's voting Republican for the first time in his life.
Yeah.
Because the Democrats are so, he said they've been taken over by radicals.
That's right.
We talked about that when Biden got elected. I said his administration is going to be run by radical kooks, and they're going to really take the country down a path that Americans are just not going to want to put up with.
Well, there's a story today with the current rise in gas prices that the average family is spending $5,000 a year on gas. And the way they figure that, it's actually more, because there's a lot of people in the country that don't drive or don't drive much. So people that drive to work regularly are spending just boatloads of money on gas. And I'll tell you, I'm watching my driving, and I'm also watching the speedometer to try to save on gas. And we shouldn't have to do that. I'm seeing prices at the gas pumps. I can't believe over $5.
My mom,
it's crazy.
My mom drives for work. She's a visiting home health nurse, and she drives from patient to patient. Now she works part-time, which is good because she filled her car today. She has a Kia Sorento, which is what we have. And it cost $85, almost $100 to fill that tank.
Really?
But she said if this was, 5 years ago when I was working full time, she said, I don't know if I could even I would spend so much on gas that I'd end up making, only X amount of dollars an hour for all the money I'm spending. But luckily she said she's working in a small area part time. But people that do drive, and a lot of people drive. I wonder how Uber and Lyft are handling the gas prices. Do they pay for the gas, or does that come out of your salary? I'm wondering how that works.
No, you got to pay for the gas, but
how are these Uber drivers making money?
I don't know, and that's a really terrible thing. The gas prices are high, and we were talking about this before the show. The Democrats, they don't care because they think it'll push us into electric cars.
That's exactly what they want to do. But like you said today, who can afford an electric car in this economy?
And it's not only that people can't afford electric cars. It doesn't save you money because you've still got to charge it up with electricity, and the fuel cost electricity will just go up. You understand what I mean?
We are too dependent. It's like when they tried to change us to the metric system in the 80s and the 70s. My
goodness.
It didn't stick. This is not something you can just flip a switch and make happen, and you can't force people into this. This has to be a very slow drip. There's people in our neighborhood that have solar panels on their house, right?
Especially for their swimming pools.
Yeah, that's true.
Swimming pool heaters.
But a friend of ours they bought a house in Florida. Now, Florida is a great place like California to have solar panels because it is sunny here 90% of the time. A friend of ours moved to Florida, a listener, and had the solar panel people come out, and they wanted to charge $25,000. And so he didn't do it. If you go green, it is very, very expensive. Say you get solar panels on your house and you buy an electric car. You're talking $100,000. How many years, if ever, would it take for you to recoup that money that you spent? I mean, how much would you save on your electric bill with the solar? Maybe $50 a month? How much would you save on gas? Well, now a little bit more, but between those two, you take out a $100,000 loan with interest. How long would you have to have those things? It doesn't work. That's the problem. Or people, it's too much money.
I saw
it's not practical.
I saw a guy talking about this. This was a pretty interesting thing. I think I've mentioned it on the show a week or two ago. But you can lease a Tesla, and the Tesla leases are 3 years. You're losing money. You're not saving any money on a Tesla lease.
No, because I would imagine a Tesla lease is $5,000 to $6,000 a month minimum.
A month, $5,000? No, it's not that
a
much.
Lease. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm not thinking right. Maybe I'm thinking I'm thinking of something else. Yeah, I would think a lease would probably be
Depends on what you put down. I don't know.
maybe $750 a month.
Who knows? I don't know. But you're not saving money.
Expensive.
Yeah.
No,
You're not
I
making your
misspoke.
money back.
I'm sorry.
It's
got to be at least $500.
Yeah. You might be at the point now if you have a Prius, maybe if you have like a hybrid that's gas and electric, maybe because gas prices is so high, you might balance out like on a hybrid.
But what is their problem with clean gas? Things have changed. Things are a lot better. The air is clean. We have clean gas. We have plenty of oil. I don't know what the left's issue is with clean gas and with the way we produce oil
because
now.
they have corrupt deals with donors that are in the green industry. That's all. That's what it is. That's
it's
thing.
easy for them to live that green life. Meanwhile, they drive around in SUVs and all this. They're hypocrites and fly on private planes.
Yeah.
So they're not. Do they have solar panels on the White House? No. Do they? Is the White House even green?
You cannot power your house. There's cloud cover. What do you do?
Well, what I'm saying is they want everybody to go green, but is the White House even green?
No.
They might have a little garden that Michelle planted to get their vegetables.
No, it's not green.
Pete Buttigieg took an SUV and then to the White House and then around the corner and then hopped on his bike. I mean, these people are hypocrites. They fly around in private jets to go to some summit in Geneva or wherever in Europe to talk about green energy. But they want us to suffer.
The thing is, when you look at the map of the United States, the red and blue map, the Democrat areas are like New York and Los Angeles, where there's a lot of public transportation. Not everybody owns a car. You don't need to own a car. They're out of touch with, they call it flyover country, where you need a car to drive distances everywhere. Like here in Florida.
Yeah, America's a big place.
If I were to take public transportation, it would take me hours and hours to get to where it would take me 15 or 20 minutes to go in the car.
Because the bus stops literally every
and they go out of the way. There's not direct routes.
Right.
Most of the country does not operate with a public transportation system because this country is a suburban country. Things are spread out. But if you live in New York, you live in parts of California, you live in DC, public transportation's efficient, so they really don't have an understanding that the rest of the country, you need your car that's powered by gasoline to get around. Now listen, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get into our final segment. We got a lot more to talk about. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. We'll be back right after this.
Podcast listeners, there's a new podcast you will want to add to your playlist, Chatting Fit with your host, Finley McLaren. Finley McLaren is an expert author of published research. He interviews exciting and interesting guests from the world of health, fitness, and nutrition, naturopathic doctors, TEDx speakers, explorers, adventurers, Olympic coaches, a Royal Marine Commando, just to name a few. On Chatting Fit, you will enjoy conversations that cover everything from morals to debunking myths. They discuss from an easy-to-understand perspective fitness, health, and nutrition with the goal of helping listeners enhance their own health, physical performance, and learn to make better nutritional choices with a focus on technology and innovations. Chatting Fit is a perfect listen on your way to or home from work, while working out, or just when you want to relax to a good conversation. Chatting Fit with your host, Finley McLaren, is available on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, and your favorite podcast platform. Add Chatting Fit to your playlist right now. CBD is known for its amazing health benefits. It's natural, safe, and effective. When you're looking for the best CBD, there's only one place to shop, and that's GreenhouseBTX.com. That's house, H-A-U-S. GreenhouseBTX.com is a veteran-owned CBD marketplace. Whether you're looking for something calming, nourishing, or balancing, their products address an array of needs using only the finest hemp products available. They offer capsules, drinks, tinctures, edibles, and more. They even have pet items. Everything is hemp-derived, and there's no THC, so they're perfect for everyone. Start shopping today at GreenhouseBTX.com. That's house, H-A-U-S. GreenhouseBTX.com. Podcast host Michael Graham has a lot to say, and on his podcast, Is What? That's ISWUTT, all one word. Or I'll say what's up to that, aims to inform and entertain. Michael discusses all kinds of topics, from tourism around the world to the Salem witch trials, Greek mythology, even SpaceX. And that's just the beginning. He covers a lot of ground in this entertaining show. You will want to tune in. He's always looking for suggestions on topics, so don't hesitate to reach out. You can find Is What on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and your favorite podcast platform. Also follow on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. The Is What Podcast, ISWUTT. That's all one word. Start listening right now. You will love it. Are you a business owner, an executive, or part of your company's management team? Being an effective leader and communicator with your staff is important for your company's success. These are not skills that come naturally to everyone. Sometimes you need help and guidance, and that is what you will find in the book series from author Phil Robert Luckey, available on Amazon. His books include Communication at the Workplace, which will help you sharpen your communication skills to advance your career, Leadership Skills for Managers and Public Organizations. This book will help you overcome your fears and mental barriers to be an effective leader. The Bad Leader is a guide on how to understand and solve the problems of self-deception, anxiety, and anger, which will prevent you from being a bad boss. Win, Easy, More, Always shares powerful secrets on becoming a winner. Leadership, the Complete Guide, 2 books in 1, is already used by many professionals. This is the ultimate leadership guide that's based on tips and case studies involving numerous important and influential historical and contemporary leaders. These books are perfect for corporate events and make great gifts to your management team. Take your career and your company to the next level with the series of books from author Phil Robert Luckey, available on Amazon.
You are listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at briancraigshow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host, Kathy. You know, we talked last week or the week before, we finally canceled Netflix. And, you know, what happened with Netflix is we had canceled Netflix long ago, and then we got it back because, remember, I talked about this, I wanted to watch Squid Game, which was definitely worth it.
And now Cobra Kai we need to watch.
Yeah, no, but then we canceled it, and when you canceled it, Netflix, this was a couple weeks ago, I asked you your reason for canceling, and you said wokeism.
Yes, I did.
And story today, Netflix woke purge. Netflix has laid off staff targeting those who are among the most vocal social justice warriors who were attacking them after that comedy special with Dave Chappelle. And what happened there was a story about 2 weeks ago that there was a massive cancellation of Netflix. And then there was even a huger cancellation wave because a lot of people like us said, you know what, we don't watch Netflix anymore. Let's get rid of it. And they obviously, a lot of people wrote for the reason for canceling was woke or wokeism or something.
Yep.
And they've made a purge. But you know, the thing with all of this, when streaming was new, right? It was so cool. And I know a lot of you out there have cut cable. I can't cut cable because I need access to the way that our cable here works. Mm-hmm. We have the fastest internet known that you can have in a home in our area. This is Ron DeSantis' free Florida. Everything here is better. But you get
That's for sure.
You get the internet through your cable system, and the actual cable is just a couple dollars a month. It's the internet where they really stick it to you on the thing. So it's not really worth canceling the cable. But when apps were new, the first streaming apps, oh, this was awesome. I don't need all this stuff on cable. And now think about it. How many apps do you have?
Well, I actually canceled
that you watch stuff.
A few, but I think what this means now, since Cobra Kai's there, I think now that Netflix is doing a massive purge of wokeism, I think we need to all resubscribe to let them know that is the problem, and that now we're back on board.
We'll wait till Cobra Kai drops.
I think that would send a clear message if a company makes an absolute effort to drop their woke agenda. then and you re-sign back on, you're letting them know that that's what the problem was, and other companies might follow suit and be like, oh, let's do what Netflix did, because they really are doing a purge. And I like Netflix. I don't mind having it if we watch it once in a while, but I don't like this woke agenda that they're doing, and they just canceled another show on Netflix that was a woke thing. So they really are waking up. They want to save their company.
Well, what they did, which was absolutely stunning, is Ibrahim X, who's the author of How to Be an Anti-Racist, they canceled his deal.
So we should get back on Netflix to let them know we're happy. That's what we wanted, and let them know that what they're doing is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
You know, you have to let them know. And the way to let them know is by resubscribing. So you have to let them know that you appreciate what they're doing and this is a good thing. And I think other companies will see if Netflix makes a turnaround, it goes back to the positive, the other companies will say, well, this is obviously good for business.
Yeah, but
so consider re-signing up.
You know, it's easy to cancel when you're upset at them, but you do need to support them when they do the right thing.
Exactly.
They've obviously, it's what you're right, Kathy. They've obviously made a big change that we're not going to let these people push us around. It's bad for business. And
I think you're right. When they do the right thing, and they listen to their subscribers, that's really rare with companies these days. And you see Amazon even starting to push back. Wokeism will kill your business. Wokeism is very destructive, and I feel that it's finally, you're going to see the death of wokeism. You're starting to see it now.
Yeah.
So reconsider it. I'm going to resubscribe this weekend and start watching it again. And I will email the company and let them know that I resubscribe because they've changed
make sure
back to just entertaining people and not brainwashing.
Make sure you cancel HBO.
I already did.
Okay,
Why?
good. Because there's nothing on there. We have too many apps. You know, I mean, how many streaming apps do you guys have out there?
No, I've canceled a few. We have
we have Amazon because you went to Prime for the free delivery to order off Amazon.
I don't consider that like a streaming.
And I have
there's not as much free streaming on Amazon as there used to be.
No, there is. And I have we have the Paramount Plus because that
and
Star
Discovery
Trek.
Plus. Those are two really and Disney Plus because we like Disney movies.
Yeah.
And we also have BritBox.
Yeah, BritBox is good.
They have good.
Well, Disney Plus has Star Wars on it.
Yeah, I mean, Disney Plus is not that much money, and I know
it's
like $5 a month. I know a lot. I do like Disney.
I know a lot of people say you got to boycott everything. I'm not going to stop watching Star Wars because of some woke liberal jerk in California. I'm not going to let them have that much power over me.
There's a lot of, and you know what? There's also a lot of Disney movies that I don't feel like Disney is doing content that's overly brainwashing
there's some stuff
like Netflix was. Yeah, but Netflix had the Obamas and anyway. Disney Plus has a lot of old movies I watched as a kid. It has a lot. I don't watch it that much, I got to be honest with you, but once in a while Brian and I will watch Star Wars.
You know what was really shocking? I'll tell you.
We do like to watch the Star Wars stuff.
This is a crazy thing about Disney. Okay, now Walt Disney himself, Mr. Walt Disney, the Walt Disney man, the man Walt Disney, was a very conservative Republican guy. Even though he's from that, that generation where everybody was like an FDR Democrat, he was not. And he was a very strong anti-union guy. And that's why I say if you go on YouTube, look for the television special for the opening day of Disneyland in California in the 50s. It's hosted by Ronald Reagan. Okay, so that's how, So anyway, this new wokeism stuff that people are talking about in their movies, you found something that was shocking to me because I had not seen this movie since I was a little child and didn't understand what I was seeing. But the first grooming movie put out by Disney was put out long ago. You were Pinocchio.
Oh, Pinocchio is a very bad movie.
Pinocchio is a groomer movie.
Pinocchio is
it's a pedophile movie.
It's
like
a
pedo movie.
When I saw it, and I remember seeing it when I was 5 years old in kindergarten. We all went to the gym. I remember this. We went to the gym and they played Pinocchio on a big screen. And I didn't like the movie then when I was 5. I'm like, I didn't understand why, but I didn't like that movie. Then you and I watched it when Disney Plus came about. Because we watched that, Sleeping Beauty, Snow White, all the old movies. And I said to you, a pedophile wrote this movie. You have the Lost
Pinocchio.
Boys. Pinocchio. Yeah, a pedophile wrote this, I think. And I said,
it's The Island.
The Island of the Lost Boys.
Yeah.
Run by some dirty old man.
Yeah.
And the boys are there. It's called Pleasure Island, where they go, right?
You know what it is?
That's what they named Pleasure Island after a Disney before. But I thought, this is weird. This is a little strange.
The Island of Lost Boys in Pinocchio
Pleasure Island
is like My Own Private Idaho. It's really creepy.
It is creepy. Now, it might not have occurred to you.
It's a pedo
But if you
movie.
watch it thinking that, you'll be like, holy
Yeah,
yes.
so go back and watch
Wow.
Pinocchio this weekend, guys.
If you have
Okay?
Disney Plus.
Yeah.
I'm not going to watch it ever again, but we do keep Disney Plus. I don't really watch Disney Plus too much, but I do like the Pixar movies. I love Pirates of the Caribbean. In fact, I just watched the first two movies last weekend. I watch them all and we do love the Star Wars
The only
stuff.
reason we from my viewpoint that we have Disney Plus is because we got the Mandalorian. There's the new
too many shows we like.
There's the new Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, I mean, I can't miss
TV
that. I'm
show
sorry.
that's coming out.
We're
in
huge
a
Star Wars
in
fans.
a couple weeks. So I can't go without all this new Star Wars.
No, sorry. I have to put my own personal happiness over Disney.
But you know what? I've not been to the Disney theme parks in months, and I used to
haven't.
go all the time. I have not gone in months.
Yeah, Brian does not go. Yeah,
I used to go like every other weekend, and and vlog and stuff. I haven't been there for months.
Yeah, we're not really supporting the parks.
No.
Anymore.
So that's
and you know what? From what I see, Disney Plus is really helping save the company because they're really having trouble with people going to the parks now because of all this stuff. People are, their stocks going down, and But I know people are going to say we shouldn't be on it, but. Like I said, I really enjoy watching Star Wars. I enjoy watching
I'm wearing
Pirates
a Star Wars
Caribbean,
t-shirt right now.
And I just cannot let the liberals control what I watch when it makes me happy. I mean, I'm not going to miss Kenobi. I'm sorry. With Darth Vader, are you nuts?
I know.
I mean, that's going to be incredible. I can't wait.
That's a big ask. Oh, now, before we go, I want to mention Truth Social is now available on the desktop for everyone. Now, in the App Store,
looking at it right now.
Truth Social is only available in the App Store for those of us that have, iPhones. And it doesn't look like it's going to be available in the Google Play Store anytime soon. But it is. Truth Social is available on the desktop, which means you can get it on your Google phone, your Android phone, and you can figure out how to do all that. But President Trump lately has gotten incredibly active on Truth Social. In fact, I was watching CNN a couple days ago, and for the very first time, they did an entire segment based on one of his posts on Truth Social.
Incredible.
They even showed it on the screen, and he is very, very vocal on Truth Social. So
real Donald Trump.
So if you have not gotten on Truth Social because you don't have an iPhone, it's available on desktop. Go and sign up. You can follow me there, Real Brian Craig, on Truth Social.
And I'm Florida Mermaid on Truth
that's right.
Social.
Now listen, we're all out of time, but we'll talk to you guys next time. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Cryptocurrency. It's what everyone's talking about. Have you wanted to get involved in crypto but didn't know what it is or where to begin? Welcome to Crypto Class 101. Class is in session. If you've wanted to get into crypto but didn't know where to begin, classes at crypto101.com.au is a great place to start. At cryptoclass101.com.au, you will learn how to invest in cryptocurrency through in-depth online one-on-one private training sessions. They will provide you with all the knowledge and tools you need to start confidently trading in cryptocurrency and accumulating profits. You will learn what cryptocurrency is, how to buy it, and what are crypto wallets. You will be guided step by step through every process. You will never be alone, and you will gain vast amounts of practical knowledge through these online courses. Start learning right now at cryptoclass101.com.au. That's cryptoclass101.com.au.